this is the best how to read a tape measure video on YouTube. And by the end of this video, you'll be hitting your target dead center. Bullseye. Now, welcome to Temple Builders Carpentry. Temple Builders, we problem solvers. Temple Builders, safety first. Now, it don't matter if you're a DIYer or an aspiring carpenter. You need to know how to make accurate measurements in order to get good results. So go get your tape measure so you can follow along with me. Now look at the movement of the hook on your tape measure. Look at that. Look at this slack or the play. That slack should equal the thickness of my hook, which is about 1/16 of an inch. Now my hook has play in it because when I make my outside measurements, my hook adjusts to the thickness of my hook, okay? And I can make a measurement. Or if I'm making an inside measurement, my hook will bump up against my material in order to adjust to the thickness of my hook. Now, in the United States, our units of measurement is the feet, inches, and fractions of an inch. If you live outside the United States, you might use the metric system. Now, let's take a length on this piece of strap material right here. It so happens it's 1 foot long. Okay, now if we wanted to use this strap material to measure this pencil, it so happens I can divide this foot into 12 equal spacing. Now my foot is divided into 12 equal spacing. So just like there's 12 eggs in a dozen, there's 12 inches in a foot. As you can see, I can measure the length of my pencil, which is 4 inches, okay? This one block is 1 inch. Now, what happens if I wanted to measure this penny that's smaller than my inch? As you can see, my penny is smaller than an inch. So we're gonna do our inch just like we did our foot. However, we're gonna divide our inch into 16 different sections. Or you can divide it into 8 different sections. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, this piece of strap material is 1/8 of an inch wide. Take a look right here. You see how I match up right here with that eighth? That's 1/8. Look how skinny this is. This is 1/16. Let me show you. As you can see, this is 1/16 wide. You can look at my framing square and look, it's in between the 2 hash marks or increments or graduations. Now, this scale over here is 1/8 of an inch scale. You see how wider the spacing is than the top? This is a 1/16 of an inch scale. This is an 1/8 of an inch scale. Look how wide my piece of scrap is right here. It's 2 times wider than my 1/16 of an inch. Take a look. I don't know if you can see it, but you can. Let me put it right here. Okay, that's an 1/8 of an inch. In carpentry, there's something called burning an inch. All you're doing is dropping one number and moving to the next number. So right here, we're starting at 0. We're gonna burn an inch and move to 1 inch. We're gonna focus on the hash marks or increments or graduations between 1 inch and 2 inch. Let's do it. Now, this is 1 inch. This 1 inch can be broken down into 1/8 of an inch, which is 8 different sections. It can be broken down to 1/16 of an inch, which is 16 different sections, 32nds of an inch, or 64ths of an inch. You rarely see a carpenter using 32nds or 64ths. Now, this is important. You need to find out whether your tape measure is laid out in 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch. Now, we can find this out or identify this by counting the hash marks or increments or graduations in between my 1 inch and my 2 inch mark. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And my long line right here, my 2 inches, that's 8. So we can see that this blowed up section of our inch on our tape measure is divided up into 1/8 of an inch. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. 8/8 is 2 inches. Now, let's take a look at this scale up top. This is the scale that carpenters normally use. This inch between 1 and 2 inches is divided into 16 equal sections. We can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 over 16, which is 2 inches. Now here's the hard part. Everywhere you see a fraction that has an even number on top and an even number at the bottom, it needs to be reduced, because in carpentry, it's frowned upon to call out a number such as 2/16, because it can be reduced. Look at my scale. 1/16 can be reduced. 2/16 can be reduced. Okay, we can use 2 to reduce this fraction. 2 goes into 2 1 time. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So 2/16 is 1/8. So I've reduced all my fractions on my 1/16 of an inch scale. Now let's do the same thing down here on my 1/8 of an inch scale. Now I've reduced all my fractions except for one right here in the middle. This is a 1/2 of an inch. On my 1/8 of an inch scale, it's 4/8 or 4/8. I can use 2, but it will take a longer process. Let's use 4, because 4 are going to 4 1 time and 4 are going to 8 2 times. So 4/8 is a 1/2 an inch. Now another way you can read your tape measure is looking at the length of your hash marks. Look at my 1/16 of an inch hash mark. It's shorter than all the rest of the hash marks, okay? That's why I got it highlighted in red. Now look at my 1/8 of an inch hash mark. It's longer than my 1/16 of an inch hash mark, okay? This is how I can locate my scale, all right? Or pinpoint my bullseye. Now look right here, this is 3/16, but look right here. This is 1/4 of an inch. It's longer than my 1/8 of an inch hash mark. And also a 1/2 of an inch hash mark is longer than the rest, except for our whole number right here, which goes all the way through our tape measure. Okay, let's put it all together. Now, before we do that, I want to show you some identifying markers on your tape measure that carpenters use. As you can see right here at 16 inches, it's in red, okay? That's for a reason, because in carpentry, we have something called 16-inch spacing, or 16 on center spacing. So right here, every 16 inches along your tape measure is going to be in red. Now, let me show you something else right here at 19.2. This is 19.2 spacing, okay? It's a hidden spacing, okay? That's your diamond. Now, let's measure our 2x4 right here. I know this 2x4 is longer than a foot, so I'm going to start by jumping from foot to foot. Let's do it. 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. Look right here, 5 feet. Okay, I can't jump another foot. Okay, matter of fact, I can't jump another inch, because here's 5 feet, 1 inch. So it's shorter than that, okay? Now, I can look at my hash marks or my graduations. Look at this longest graduation right here. That's the 1/2 inch hash mark. I know I'm using a 1/16 of an inch scale. So 1/2 of 16 is 8/16, right? So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12/16. 5 feet, 12/16. But we got to reduce that, because we have an even number at the top and an even number at the bottom. We could use 2, but let's use 4 because it's the highest. So 4 goes into 12 3 times, and 4 goes into 16 4 times. So we get 5 feet, okay, 3/4. I also can identify this as I get better at reading my tape measure. I can identify this just by looking at the length of my hash marks. So this is my longest hash mark, which is 1/2 an inch. This is my next longest hash mark, okay, which is the 1/4 inch hash mark, and it's 3/4. So my length is 5 feet, 3/4 inches. If you like this information, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, become my apprentice. Temple.